So, welcome to Deep Rock Galactic. I don't know if I've got a public video on the channel playing this game, but I have played it a little bit in the past, and I've just got back into it and started playing it again now. And in this video, we are going through if it's worth playing in 2023. And before we jump into this one, I want to give a disclaimer. I do not know much about the game whatsoever. When I loaded it up, I had lost memory of everything. I actually had to go into the control settings and see what the buttons were. I am playing this on the Xbox Series X, and because I don't know much about the game, I cannot tell you all the ins and outs of everything, but I can explain what this game is like to play, if you're going to have fun playing it, and how the basics work. So jumping into this one, you first off have a choice of playing solo. You can play a private game, or you can host or join a public match, and you get to choose a class. There are 4 as far as I'm aware. I play the gunner because he's got a zipline launcher and a big gun. There's also, like off the top of my head, there's an engineer which lets you build turrets and stuff. They each have their own pros and cons, like when you're picking a class to play. And your objective in this game is to go into a mine and find certain minerals and other cool things like alien eggs and stuff. You need to gather up all of these, complete your objectives and stuff, and return to your base. In order to return to your base, you need to make your way back to a drop pod. You basically go into this mine, and once the objectives are completed, you're going to have a timer. That timer is going to signal when your drop pod's going to come in, like when it's going to arrive. Then there's also going to be a countdown, because no matter where you are in this mine, you need to make your way back before the drop pod leaves without you. And this is, like, the whole thing is not going to be as easy as just going exploring and finding these minerals. There are big drops. You can drop down them and you can die. There are enemies that randomly roam around in the mines. And then if you're doing a difficult mission, you're going to have swarms that start attacking you as you're like making progress and trying to gather all your stuff that you need to, all the resources and everything. But also whilst you're waiting for your drop pod to arrive, you'll also have swarms coming in trying to like make their last big attack before you leave the mine. They're like obviously going to try and stop you leaving. If you are playing this game solo, you are not on your own. And that is because the game is going to send a drone into the mines with you, and this drone is called Bosco. And Bosco is such a helpful companion. Bosco will attack enemies, mine materials and stuff, including health crystals. And even if you're playing solo and you've got Bosco, will even revive you if you go down. But Bosco isn't just a basic drone. There are modifications and stuff that you can apply, as well as being able to like basically farm materials, make enough money to modify your own equipment. Like you can add rockets to Bosco, you can increase your minigun ammo, and there's way more. But as well as all of that, there are passive perks like reviving teammates faster, loading resources into the mule faster. You do get a mule that comes with you, and there is just so much more. The mule is a little like 4-legged machine that joins you, follows you around, and the mule will be available for both if you're playing solo or with other players. And it doesn't just follow you, like it's going to basically get to an area, sit down, open up its essentially pockets, and then you can start loading it with your like materials and stuff that you've mined. But you can select, like you can basically put this little marker down and tell this mule where you want it to sit. So you can get it into more of a specific position to make it a lot more efficient to drop your resources off, because you are limited to how much you can carry. And for an example, you find a big, like basically vein of gold. I believe you can only carry 40 of a lot of the resources. And once you're full up, you are going to start seeing these big like crystals that are dropped on the floor. So you need to like empty off your pockets into this mule. The mule's going to carry it all for you. Then you can continue mining and picking up the materials. Another thing I'd like to very quickly add in before we move on to the next part of this video is the fact that yes, you can play co-op, but when you are playing solo, you have the ability to pause the game. There are lots of games out there that are co-op and solo based, and if you're playing solo, you can't pause it. This game you can. And I think that's a really, really good addition to the game. And Deep Rock Galactic is going to set you back £25. So it's nothing like these £60, £70 AAA games, but you can also play it through Xbox Game Pass. And not only does it play really smooth, I haven't encountered any bugs at all, unless you include the ones that attack you during the swarms, But not only does it play really smooth and is loads of fun, but it's also a beautiful looking game. All the mines are going to be dark, and there are just so many colours and stuff around, it looks fantastic. And the mines might be very dark, but you are given flare things. I'm going to call them flare things, I can't remember their exact name. But you can throw these, you can light up the area, and I've got a capacity of 4 that I can carry, and it makes it a lot easier to see. But these flares have a cooldown, so you are not limited to just having 4. I chuck one, that one goes on to cooldown. Say it's a 15-second cooldown, I throw another one, and the first one's going to continue like coming off cooldown, so I can throw that one again. So you're not limited to how much light you can produce throughout your mining expedition, but that's also another thing that Bosco can do. Bosco can light up areas to make it easier to mine materials, so if you've used all of your available flares, they're all on cooldown, you can just basically guide Bosco and tell Bosco to light up the area for you. This game has a lot of content, from playing random missions to doing assignments in a specific sort of like mission chain. You have levels for your character to unlock better upgrades for your equipment, and also for Bosco the drone. Plus there's a lot more when you've completed assignments, which I currently haven't done, because as I said, this is the first time I've played this game in a very, very long time. I cannot fault this game whatsoever, besides the fact that it might not be the style of game that everyone enjoys. But the developers have really put a lot of thought into how they've managed the development of the game, including the post-release development. The game's been out, I believe it's around 3 years now. You even have the ability to see an estimate on the mission length and how complex the mine's going to be, along with difficulties that you can increase or decrease depending how risky you want to play it. And the difficulties are going to increase the rewards the harder you make it. So for an example, you're going to get 700 credits or whatever the currency is in the game. Say for an example, on the second difficulty level, you're going to get 700, you'll get like 850 or something like that on difficulty number 3. And as you make progress, you complete assignments and stuff, you will unlock extra difficulty levels. If I was to recommend a game for you guys to play, then Deep Rock Galactic is 100% on that list. I played it for a couple of hours today, and I think I did about 3 mines. They took about half an hour each, and then the rest of the time was just sitting there going through upgrades and basically claiming rewards for completing milestones and unlocking passive perks and things. I made progress with my assignment. I had an absolute blast. So yes, Deep Rock Galactic is worth playing in 2023. And what we are going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about Deep Rock Galactic in the comments. And check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.